My name is Ramesh Bjonnes, and I'm the author of the book Tantra, the Yoga of Love and Awakening, published by Hay House, India, recently. The book is about the relationship between Tantra and Yoga and the history of Tantra and Yoga, the different practices, and how Tantra has influenced Yoga throughout the ages. Many of you have heard that Tantra is the yoga of sex, or the yoga of sacred sex. I say in the book that Tantra is not just the yoga of sex, it's the yoga of everything. Because Tantra is really at the basis of yoga. It is the depths of yoga, the practices of yoga. Another way of saying it is that the Kriya Yoga that Patanjali talks about in the Yoga Sutras, the famous book, is Tantra. Many gurus, many yogis, many scholars would say that Indian civilization is a combination of the Vedic tradition and the Tantric tradition. Them coming together, forming a fusion, creating Indian civilization. But when it comes to the practices of yoga, the practice of asanas, of pranayama, of concentration, dharana, of dhyan, deep flow meditation, all of that is tantra, all of that is tantric. The use of kundalini and different energies in the body and transforming those energies upwards is the practice of tantra. I also talk about yoga history and the history of tantra and how tantra has been very influential. And when we talk about history, we talk about Tantra as Shaivism or Shivaism, as an old tradition in India running parallel with the Vedic tradition, and then mingling, commingling, and as I said earlier, creating Indian civilization and sort of forming the basis of that great yogic tradition. Another thing that I talk a lot about in the book is the practice of yoga, the transformation of yoga. What is yoga? And as many know, yoga means union. Again, that concept of yoga as union is tantric. Patanjali talked of yoga as being a state of mind that is free of fluctuations, free of sensory experiences, and when we reach that state of peace, that is yoga. In Tantra we talk about yoga as a union, becoming one with the beloved, the divine, becoming one with the object of perception. That is yoga, and ultimately that yoga is becoming one with the divine. I also talk about the cosmology of yoga and the cosmology of Tantra in the book, and as many students of Ayurveda will realize, is that Tantra and Ayurveda in cosmological terms are very similar, come from the same basis of the Shankaya philosophy, and have then developed throughout the ages into a more and more sophisticated philosophy, which is very ecological, very practical, and can be used as a way of learning about the body and the mind and how they function, and how the world functions, how nature functions, how nature was created, and how we can live in harmony with nature. So all of that is really part of yoga and Tantra as well. So in other words, yoga is not, as I said earlier, not just a practice that we do on a mat in a studio, but it is a lifestyle, it is a way of being. And the ultimate goal of yoga is to be in a state of yoga, be in a state of peace and harmony, living in harmony with our surroundings and our fellow human beings. So yoga, as I said, and Tantra is the Tantra, as I said in the beginning, Tantra is the yoga of everything. So yoga is a lifestyle and a way of being. So all of this is developed in quite some detail in the book, all of these ideas. And I think that you will find a lot of interesting material. If you're new to yoga, I don't think it's going to be too strange or too difficult. And if you're a more advanced student of yoga, I think you'll find a lot of interesting material in the book.